What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, consider hanging out with me and subscribing. I'm making videos every week that will help you get more listings in your real estate agent sales business. So in today's training, or in today's video, I should say, I'm going to do something a little bit different that I don't do that often. And that is giving you a behind the scenes look into what our weekly coaching calls look like inside of our For Sale by Owner training and coaching program. A lot of you have been commenting on my videos, reaching out to me, asking me, hey, what are these weekly coaching calls like? What do you guys talk about? What do you discuss? You know, what are the types of questions that come through from the agents in the program? You know, what kind of coaching and feedback do you provide? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those calls are like. And so check it out. Put a comment below. Let me know what you think, what you got from this weekly coaching call. Because again, I don't do this very often. These weekly coaching calls are strictly for our members of our training and our coaching program. And if you, after watching this, you want to talk and get more details about the training and coaching program and how you can make For Sale by Owners a massive, massive part of your sales business, I'm going to put a link below this video in the description where you can schedule time with me on my personal calendar to talk about the program in more details so that you can decide if it's a good fit for you or not. So hopefully today you get a ton of value from this weekly coaching call, a behind the scenes look, and I'm sure we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. All right, so we are live. Welcome to another weekly live coaching Q&A. It is 12:30. Welcome back. If this is your first time with us, welcome. How these calls work is a couple things happen. Number one is I try to get through all of the questions that came in the Facebook community over the past week first. Then if you have a question, you can chat, or you can just unmute yourself and you can ask a question. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different in that one of our students, Graham Norris, is going to be doing a live role play going through the preview appointment strategy system script. And then we'll take some notes. I'll take some notes. And then Graham, I'll be able to give you some live coaching on how I think that went and some areas for you to improve. All right. So,
yep.
Graham, you're with us. How's it going, buddy?
Very good. Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, sir. So I will post the recording of this back into the Facebook group. For some reason, I'm having a tough time going live in the Facebook group. So I put the link in there, but I'll post the recording of this back in the group. So what I want to do, Graham, we're going to go through this. You don't need to rush through it, but I would like to take half of the call helping you through the preview strategy, because I think it will help a lot of people on this call as well. And so how we're going to do the role play today is this. We are going to start we're going to start this after the home tour. So everyone has to kind of put their imagination on for just a second. Graham and I are together. He has just walked me, or I just walked him through my house. We just did the property tour. And where I want to pick up, Graham, is from the very first thing you say after that home tour to the time you leave and you're shaking my hand and you're walking out of the door. Is that fair?
Yep, that's perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So yep. Anybody have any questions before we jump into that real quick? Cool. All right. So if you're not talking right now, everyone else, you can just mute yourself so that it's not distracting for other people, and we'll jump into it. Now, as Graham is going through this, if I'm a student in this group, what I'm doing is I'm taking notes on where I think, okay, wow, I didn't know that. Maybe here's an area for him to improve. Here's what I need to get better at. And here's the process of the preview appointment and how it should go. So Graham, we just walked through the property, and you can take us from here.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for showing me your property. It's absolutely amazing. There's no reason why this property shouldn't sell. So let's sit down and discuss some things. But before we get started, Tell me why you want to sell in the first place. It's such a magnificent home. So why aren't you just staying where you are? What's caused you to want to sell?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think, quite frankly, we do think about that a lot because we do love it here. Love the house. We love the area. But Graham, we, with the third baby now on the way, we've got to get something bigger. I mean, we've got to get something bigger. And my wife, our oldest, starts kindergarten next year. So we've got to get into the different school district.
So, well, that makes sense. And when you say bigger, are you looking for more rooms? Or why exactly do you want something bigger? What's the dynamic here?
So, yeah, right now, I mean, we've got the 3 bedrooms, so we absolutely have to get the 4th bedroom. I mean, that's the absolute, we have to have that. And then for sure, we would like some more space. I mean, you're in here, it's kind of tight with the new baby coming. There'll be 5 of us now. So got to get something bigger with a 4th bedroom.
Well, that's very understandable. And you've got other children as well, you're saying?
What's that?
You have other children? How many children do you have?
Yeah, we've got 2 now, and then the 3rd one's on the way.
Okay. So are the 2 children you have already, are they already going to school?
No, not yet. They're going to start. That's the other thing, right? So we want to get into a better school district because our oldest is going to be 5 next year, and she's going to start kindergarten.
Well, that's definitely understandable. You want a good school. Have you got schools picked out?
Yeah, we want to be in the Clarkston school district, and right now where we live, that's not possible.
Okay, so that's another reason you want to sell, not just the size of your home, the school district as well. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. What are your biggest concerns about selling your house?
I mean, obviously getting price probably. And then I would think, one of the things that my wife and I talk about is not only getting the price that we need, but more importantly to that is, netting as much money as we can. I mean, we're going to upsize the property. We're going to be spending more money for sure. And so it's important that we get the right price, and so we can get the money that we need out of this house to get into the next property.
Right, that makes sense. Now, have you looked at properties where you would like to go and worked out your budget and what you want to net?
Yeah, I mean, we've played around with those numbers, and yeah, we started looking at some homes for sure.
Fantastic. All right, so you started out selling for sale by owner. What prompted you to do that? Is it finance? Or what was your motive for wanting to sell it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have to pay someone like you 6%, then that's what I'm going to try to do,
Right, okay. Sure. And is it because the numbers are tight? I mean, what do you owe currently?
No, it's not from that standpoint. It's just like, if I can sell this house and, we're going to sell this thing for around $300,000. So, 6% on $300,000, I mean, it's $18,000. And so if I can sell this thing on my own and not pay $18,000, I'm going to do that.
I understand. Yeah. Typically the marketplace, a lot of people are educated. They'll probably try and discount you that 18,000. Yeah. So that's sometimes that will happen. How long have you been selling it now for your home?
I mean, we've been at this for, I think, probably about 2 weeks, I think, is where we're at now.
Okay. Well, let me show you some things I've prepared some what we call comparables, similar homes in the area that have sold recently. And let's take a look at pricing and see where we're at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I want to be clear, though. I'm not interested in listing my house.
Right. I understand. Yeah. So what we're doing here is trying to help you as much as we can, so you can see what the current market is doing, the activity, and I'm sure you'll be able to use this information. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we got here is we got 3 houses, and we got you can see they sold within the last 90 days. You can see that some of them sold very quickly and some of them more slowly. I mean, typically for this area, we're looking at 30 days, average days on the market. So that means that properties typically sell within 30 days or get a contract on them within 30 days. So say yours was, I know you're right now, you've been on the market, on the market for less than 30 days. What do you think happens to the value of your house if it's over 30 days on the market?
I mean, yeah, I think probably the desirability, I guess, could go down. I mean, if we're on the market for a long time.
Why do you think that is? I mean,
well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would just think that, houses, I know I can tell you from a buyer's perspective, when I look at houses that are been out there forever, then I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's some more wiggle room there. Maybe there's some more negotiating opportunities. That's kind of what I would think. Right.
And then what time frame were you looking to actually move? When do you hope to actually move?
Well, yeah, I mean, so we definitely got to be, in something before the school year starts. And so that's for certain.
Right. So what we're talking about here is the quicker home sells. If on day one you get a lot of interest on your property and you get contracts, the price is likely to go up, isn't it? People fight for it. They're like an auction, so the quicker you can get interest on your property, the more likelihood is that you get the best price for the property. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. So the longer we're on the market, the more it goes down. We don't want that. We don't want to be on the market longer than the average days on the market, which is in this area 30 days. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. And we work with a lot of for sale by owners, and we can certainly work alongside you. We can both try and sell the house, and if you do sell the house yourself, then you don't owe us any commission. We do with what's called the Savvy Seller Plan, which means that if you don't want to do the paperwork, we'll do the paperwork for 1%. So you could find a buyer, the commission will be 1%, and that will maximize the amount of money in your pocket. You understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if I sell it, there's a couple of things could happen. I could be listing your property, and I could find you a buyer. And at that point, we could cut our commission from the normal 6% to 4%. And if somebody else brings a buyer, then of course we would offer them 3% for finding a buyer. So we do have that flexible, we call it the for sale by owner backup plan, and we're not going to tie your hands in any way.
Cool.
Yeah. The other thing we do, of course, is if you do sign with the realtor, lots of them tie you up, and for so long, it might be 6 months, it might be a year, and you don't have any. You have to get released from the contract. Now, what we do is, if we're not doing a job, you can fire me at any time if I'm not doing my job right, or you're not happy for any reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just to be clear, I'm not interested in listing my home with you.
Right. You've only just really started a couple of weeks. Yes,
that's right.
I understand. But say in a couple of months you haven't sold, what would be your strategy then? Would you be open to interviewing other agents?
I think so. I don't know yet, but we're going to definitely give this a shot for a little while before really looking at anything else, but we'll see what happens.
Yes. And the other thing is you're more than capable. In fact, when I sold my own house, I used my office because we have the tools. And the biggest advantage we have is we've got the tools to market your property and get you the highest price. So typically, when people go ahead and list with an agent, you get a lot higher price. So in the end, you are netting more in your pocket than typically if you sell it yourself.
Well, maybe I think that could be debatable, but I see why you would say that. Sure, being a realtor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you can Google these stats online. In fact, and do the research yourself. And have a look at that and investigate it. It's all out there. It's public knowledge, and what actually happens with for sale by owners typically. So we're here to help. We can work alongside you. If you do decide, if the time gets short and you feel that pressure of time, because you do want to get into your new home for school reasons, ahead of the school year starting, and you do with the baby coming along, you do want more room. So I know that's a lot of pressure on you from the wife, probably, isn't it, to get settled. And she probably has that nesting instinct. And you want to get into your new home and settled in. How's she doing?
She's doing great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. What are her concerns? I know she's not here today, but what's her concerns about moving?
Keeping the house clean is a pain in the ass. She doesn't like that at all, right? Being pregnant and mad and upset. What she wants to do is keep this house, clean and show it to buyers. That's her biggest gripe right now, selling this damn thing.
Yeah, I know. And is she still working, or?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. And so are you working as well, or do you work from home, or?
Yeah, I work too.
Right. So it can be difficult scheduling showings sometimes. You've got to squeeze them into your time schedule. How is that working out for you?
I mean, I don't know. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Yeah. So that's one of the benefits. We could work alongside you. So you could still sell the house yourself. You can still look for a buyer, and I could be working on your behalf as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what's stopping you from doing that?
Well, because I want to try to, I guess I was trying to be clear with you. I'm going to try to sell this house on my own.
And you can do that. We can do it together, Are you afraid that I might beat you to the winning line, find a buyer before you do?
I don't know, man. But, I thank you so much for coming over. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Well, don't hesitate to give me a call. We do free open houses, and any questions you have, don't hesitate to give me a call. It's been very nice to meet you today.
Yeah, you too, Graham. Thanks.
All right. All right. Bye-bye for now, then.
Bye now. All right. So give him a round of applause, right? He just did that in front of everybody. Good job. So a couple questions. I got a bunch of notes, a bunch of feedback for you. Are you open to that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
cool.
That's why I'm here.
All right, my man. So my first question is, how close to that role play is what's happening in real life when you go on these appointments, would you say? Is it 100% match for match, 50%, 10%? What would you say?
Well, very interesting we're talking today, because yesterday I went on a preview appointment.
Good.
So it's fresh in my mind, as it were. And we actually spent 2 hours. That preview actually lasted 2 hours, so it went really well. There's good rapport. She opened up. She told me her figures. She told me about the offers she's had, the number of showings. We spent quite a long time going around the house. She did all the talking, and I did all the listening. And then we sat at the table. She offered me a drink, and we just sat and talked. And at the end of that, it was very clear on her position and why she's selling a home herself. She's an investor type. She moves into a house. Her and her husband, they fix them up, and then 2 years later they move again.
So let me ask you this. So what we just went through over the last 18 minutes, how close is that to what your typical preview appointment looks like? Was it not close at all, or is it close?
Yeah, it's close. It's close. there was a lot more talk in the previews I've had. They seemed a lot more friendly. It felt a little bit more technical this time. When they meet you face to face, it's like, come on in. It's almost, I feel like you're the best friend, which always takes me by surprise. You know, they're very hospitable.
So let me give you feedback. That's where we're going to start. The reason it felt like that is because who did most of the talking in this role play? You or me?
Probably me, although I kept asking questions, and maybe my questions weren't open-ended enough. I'm not sure.
You started off good. You started off great. But then you stopped gaining agreement. You stopped asking questions. And then the biggest piece of feedback, before I give it to you, how do you think this thing went? How, like you leaving the role play, how do you think it went?
I don't think it went right at all.
Okay. So my biggest piece of feedback, like I would agree with that. And the reason for that is it felt like you were selling me the whole time. It felt like instead of trying to reverse sell me, what it sounded like, and you can go back to the recording and listen to this part, when you were trying to talk about, when you were talking about the Savvy Seller program and this and that, at one point you even challenged me, like, why would you just not do this right now? You became, in the flick of a finger, that every other real estate agent, like, and I was a little bit shocked you went down that road and you were going like tit for tat with me. Like, why would you not do this? Well, don't you try to set me up for the showings? Like, don't you hate showings? You know, you could Google stats and see it's way better to list with me than on your own. That's like the opposite, Graham, of what I ever want you to do. Okay. Never, ever, ever, ever do I want you to do that. You were selling me. You fell into this what people do is they go into this mode of it almost comes off like very needy, like desperate, like, you know, like, why are you not going to do this? You know what I mean? And so let me give you an example. So that's my biggest piece of feedback. So let me give you and everyone else that's listening to this some good, tangible examples. Okay. So 2 things, your CMA presentation and your value proposition presentation needs a lot of work. And I would spend all of your time being able to knock that thing out, because the reason why this started was you told me, dude, I can't get the listings. They keep listing with other people. One of the reasons for that, based on what I saw today, is what you believe to be like a connection and building rapport and providing value. I believe that there's a disconnect there. Can I explain?
Yes, go ahead.
So if I'm completely off base here, please let me know. But what I believe that you believe, providing value and connecting, is like the small talk. And you went down that road with me. I can only imagine, like in real life, it's probably a lot more of like, you know, how's your wife feeling and that kind of thing. Pleasantries, right? Just like human pleasantries.
Right.
Not that that's probably your natural tendency to fall back on that, because there could be a lack of skill or confidence on the other side. So do you spend a lot of time like on those types of things?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what a lot of people believe to be providing value and building rapport. What I believe providing value and building rapport is presenting information about their property in such a way where the person is like, holy crap, Graham, I had no idea. I've never looked at it this way. That to me is where you make a big impact with somebody rather than a human pleasantry. Because here's what's happening. If the presentation is not compelling enough, then naturally you won't earn a chance to interview to list their property if and when that day comes. And you told me that's exactly what's happening to you. Is that right?
Well, yesterday, for example, we were talking about the price. So it's a log cabin. It started out at $550,000, and she told me that she had a cash offer of $425,000. So that's $125,000 less than what she originally listed it for. Over the time that she's been trying to sell it, she's had 4 price reductions. So we talked a lot about that cash offer. And I said, probably that's where your baseline is, and what the true value, somebody's prepared to offer you cash for this property of 425,000. Yes, they're trying to use cash as king, as an advantage, as a negotiation tool, to get a lower price than you would normally if you were a conventional loan.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked a lot about that, and she found that helpful, and it gave her, I felt it gave her confidence in, at least a baseline figure.
Good.
So we talked a lot about that, and then
I don't want to take anything away from what
marketing.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from what you're doing, but I want to try to solve, because based on how many previews you've gotten to and you haven't listed one of them, I'm trying to find the missing link. And what I believe the missing link is a 2-hour preview. You probably did a lot of talking, but again, furthers my evidence that you are big time on rapport, trying to build like rapport through small talk. And I'm totally guessing. I don't even know where you live, but I would imagine there's a lot of that, right? And so, again, to me, providing value is much more specific, right? Much more specific. And it's very tangible and getting someone to feel a certain way. And the reason why I think this is based on how many people you've seen and the number of listings you have, it's in disproportion. So you've seen how many people over the last couple of months? You said 60 or something?
July's 13, August 10, 5 in September, 2 in October, and so far the 1 in November are the preview appointments.
Got it.
I've had one listing where I went on a preview and then went on a listing presentation.
Yeah, makes sense. So I believe that you have to get better at the CMA presentation. So the CMA presentation has a couple parts to it. It starts off by asking, Graham, let me ask you, here's what I want to do. The way that you tee up the preview appointment from the home tour to the preview appointment is this specifically. Everyone write this down. So Graham, what I like to do, if you're okay with it, is I did a bunch of research on your property before coming over today. Would you mind if I shared what I found before I leave?
Sure.
Okay, great. Now, tell me, I'm going to give you a bunch of information right now, Graham, about the way in which your home is positioned in today's marketplace so that a couple things happen. A, the property sells in the right amount of time, and B, that when the house sells and you get a check at the closing, it's for what you need it to be. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, cool. So what do you know about the current market? What's your current understanding of the current marketplace? And then you don't have to do the whole thing. So that's question one, right? And so how you tee that up, it's very concise. I think that you have a tendency to talk too much. And so just be careful of that. And then question number two is, or part number two of the CMA presentation for everyone on this group is to walk them through an example of, and you were close here, so I want to give you credit, of the days on market and the importance of what happens to a buyer when they walk through the property. Now, you touched on this, but I need you to polish that up. And so one of the other pieces of feedback I wrote down, Graham, was he needs to be more polished. Now, you have an accent too, so you need to work on how you articulate certain points so that you make people feel a certain way. Let me give you an example, okay? Here's how the days on market presentation sounds. So Graham tells me all about what he believes the current marketplace to be like today. I turn around and say, well, Graham, this whole thing, you selling your house, has everything to do with this number right here. See how I'm talking slow and I'm pronouncing every word really slowly? It's very, you can hear and understand what I'm saying. And I'm circling this, right? 30 days, okay? The reason why that matters, Graham, is let's pretend for a second that you were a buyer for this house. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
Now I involve him. Now I get up, right? This is what I'm actually doing, you guys. I get up and I'm grabbing Graham's arm And I'm saying, now let's go to the front door for a second. I walk him over to the front door and I say, okay, Graham, we walk through this front door, okay? And this property has been on the market for 1 day. And you turn around to me and say, Brandon, I want this property. What do I need to do to get this property? Graham, what do you think I'm going to recommend we do in order for you to get this house?
I give them the price they're asking for.
Exactly right. Why is that?
Because anything less, you're risking them saying no.
Now, what I'm doing, you guys, is I'm involving, this is the presentation. This is what I'm talking about. I spend time doing this, less time talking about, you know, I don't know, whatever else, but I'm doing this through the whole presentation. So I'm really making an impact. And then, so that's all. I would just really focus on being able to articulate each one of these presentations in the program so you can nail these things, right? So you sound like an absolute master. And then the same thing on the value proposition. I felt that value proposition presentation was choppy. It wasn't polished and articulated the way that I would want it to be, Graham, in such a way where you've got me almost wanting more. Like, don't stop, give me more. Like, you ever been to a great play or watch a great movie and then it ended and you're like, oh, I wish that kept going? That is how your presentations should be. And you can't get that feeling from somebody making small talk. Does that make sense?
It does.
So, go ahead, Kat.
Oh, I didn't know if I was muted or not muted. I just have a suggestion.
Please.
Okay, so I have a problem with talking. Shocking, I know. But can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, so what has worked for me, Graham, is, and this is from that Black Swan, the Never Split the Difference, is the minute I walk in the door, I say, like, as I'm taking off my shoes and putting all my shit down and everything else, and I say, okay, tell me the story with your house. Every house has a story. Oh my gosh, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so so I say that. I say, tell me the story with this house. Every house has a story. And these people just like vomit everything that has been in their head for the last like month as the house has been on the market. And so as they're saying all this, I'm listening and, you know, half listening, half trying, you know, whatever. And then by the time they get done, then I can very simply say, like, all right, show me around. Let's do this. Let's roll. And as I'm doing, the other thing I've changed is all the questions that you guys were talking about a second ago. I ask all those questions while we're walking around because I really don't give a shit what their house looks like. Like, I don't care about the kitchen. I want to know, like, what's your pain point? Why do you need a new kitchen? And since they've already vomited all that stuff at the front door, I don't have to chit chat. I can just specifically ask follow-up questions to the bullshit they've just vomited at the front door, because I'm the person that will get so caught up in chit chat. I'll be there for 3 hours talking about like this, the dog that they don't even own. So that has helped me a lot. That might work for you too.
Well, and to be fair, Kat, you're also gifted with a huge personality that helps you a lot. Like, people, like, if I'm an introvert on this, and introverts, you can be very successful because I am one. Kat is naturally extroverted, so it's very easy to listen to her, and she's got high energy. And so every time she unmutes herself, we're all like, damn, keep talking, Kat, keep going. And so you're naturally gifted. So for everybody else, you have to work on your skill set. It took me a long time to be articulated. And so your personality takes you a long way, Kat. Because you're so damn confident, right? Okay. So anyway, but that's great feedback. It
might help to just get them talking so that then they're if not in their head, they keep wanting to tell anyway, blah, blah, blah. You're good.
I love it. I
do the same thing when I walk through. I have all the talks that Kat's talking about as I'm walking through.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, just because I feel like it's, when I get into the CMA, I feel like I've probably been there for like 45 minutes to an hour now. So that's one of the reasons I do that as well.
Yep. Let me give Graham one more piece of feedback, and then we're going to open this thing up. So the last piece of feedback, Graham, I have is instead of I want you to really, this week, I want you to really focus. And I know it's going to make you so uncomfortable. I want you to try and work on when you say things like, hey, why wouldn't you, this is not just you, this is every human on earth. Until they build up a skill set when it comes to sales, they will say things like you were saying about the Savvy Seller program, like, I want to try to sell this on my own. And you're like, well, you can. You know what I mean? You're trying to combat things. What I want you to do, and it's going to be so hard, is I want you to push people away. Here's what I mean. Ready? So next time, whoever that is doing cartwheels in their kitchen, got to find them. I don't know. We got a lot of people on the call today. So here's what I mean. The next time somebody tells you, listen, Graham, I don't want to list my house with you. I want to sell my house on my own. What do you think I want you to say?
Well, yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't sell it on your own.
That's right. Now, I know that makes you very nervous to say that. And a lot of people, for me, it took me 5 years to be comfortable with doing that. But the only way you're going to have somebody, and then what do you think I want you to say next after that?
I'm available if you need me.
Watch this, you guys. Watch. So Graham tells me, dude, I'm not interested in listing my house with you. I'm like, of course not. And quite frankly, you shouldn't be, not with this market. The only way, Graham, you'd consider even interviewing me or talking to me about any other option is if 60, 90, 100 days, 6 months goes by and you can't sell this thing on your own. Graham, am I right?
Yeah.
That is how you guys do it. So push them away, and then we throw in the neuro-linguistics, and at the end, gain agreement. Now, I know if you're brand new to this, you're like, dude, that's like Chinese, man. Like, do that one more time. So let me do that one more time.
Yeah. Okay.
So Graham tells me, he says, I'm not interested in paying a commission. Brandon, I'm not paying a commission. I say, Graham, of course not. Chances are in a market like this, you have no chance or you have no problem selling this property. And quite frankly, Graham, listen, here's the neuro-linguistics. You probably wouldn't look at any other options until 3, 6, 9 months goes by and you're unsuccessful. Am I right? What I'm doing is I'm putting him in a hypothetical state that he believes is never going to come. Watch, let me do this live. So, Graham, are you in any type of relationship?
Yes, I'm married.
You're married. Now, in a hypothetical situation, something happens with your marriage, your wife decides one day she doesn't like you, right? 3, 6, 9 years goes by. Would you consider dating again?
It's possible. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, so that's the same thing we do with FSBOs. Yeah. I want them to think that it's not possible. All I'm getting them to do is to agree that if they can't do this thing on their own, that only then would they start to look at other options, because I'm just solidifying myself as that strategy. So as they get frustrated in 2 weeks, it doesn't take 2 years, by the way, as they start to get frustrated on their own, I just keep getting back in their head. Damn, that dude, you know, maybe I do look at that guy. And then all the follow-up stuff comes into play. So Graham, that's what I want you to work on. Do not go tit for tat with people. Hey, I want to do this. No, you shouldn't. That's stupid. Go Google all the reasons why you shouldn't do that. That's what you did. You did the opposite of what I want you to do. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, that's cool. Great.
So if someone tells me, dude, I hate your new haircut, I'm like, I know. They fucked it all up. It's bad. You know what I mean? So I want you to start pushing people to be more agreeable with them. Ask them a hypothetical situation that they would absolutely say yes to, and then gain agreement. That's the 3-step process.
Makes sense, yeah.
My man. Good job, dude.
Thank you.
Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, I just came with the first interview. I just got an appointment today at 10 o'clock with the first interview, and the whole thing lasts 25 minutes. I just want to make sure if I'm missing anything in the first interview, I want you to tell me, because I just walk into the house and I'm dealing with a very high educated customer. they live in the community and they know exactly the property they're selling, the property, how much they're selling for. They know the competition. They know some details about CMA. So the minute I entered to the property, I told him, so your property is 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom, 25 square footage, built in 2013. And we start walking to the property. And I went to the qualifying question. Why are you selling this property? This is beautiful. Why can you live in here? He told me, I work for the school board. I got 1 kid only. My wife and I, we want to downsize because it's a 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom, 2,500 square footage. So he wants to sell. So after he showed me the property, I went to the second qualifying question. Listen, I know you're selling on your own, and by any chance, in the next few weeks, you can sell on your own. If you have another auctions. He said, yes, in a few days, I'm going to go to the realtors because, you know, I can sell on your own. So immediately I start talking about the days on the market. I'm talking about the days on the market, the correlation with the price and the days on the market. And he was very interested to that. But I didn't talk to a value proposition. I don't know if it was like too much to push, because I tell them I'm not here to lease your property. Just I want to make sure that if you want to lease on your own, I want to help you. So I give it to him the seller disclosure right there, so he has it. Mm-hmm. But I didn't talk to a value proposition at all. I talk about the couple property because when I look at the days on the market, the property is selling between 34 days and 3 days. There's only 2 properties. It took like a year to sell, and he knew about it. It's only another property will take 200 years to sell. He knows about it. So he's very educated, but he's not a realtor.
What's your question?
My question is, what would be the follow-up? Also, he's not doing any open house. Right now, I offered him to do open house after Thanksgiving. He called me. He might go for the open house. My question is, because my problem is not the first appointment or the prospecting. It is the follow-up. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do in the second phone call after Thanksgiving when he told me to call him, see if I can do the open house? What value do I bring to a conversation?
All right. Couple things. Number one, anytime you're at a preview appointment and you ask the question that I want you to ask, hey, if you can't sell this thing in a couple of weeks, whatever, and the consumer tells you, yeah, if I can't sell this in a couple days like that guy just did, or a couple weeks, I'm going to interview realtors. Immediately, I say this. I say, awesome, right? Not that here's what I'd like to do is I'd like to walk you through a strategy that you can consider if the day comes and you can't sell this on your own. Would you mind listening, or would you be okay if I showed that to you really quick? And I'm getting absolutely into the value proposition presentation right there on the spot, right? I mean, he opened the door right up for you. The first thing you have to do, just like I told Graham, was push it away first. Listen, you're not going to look at this now. Let's agree, you're not going to look at this right now at all. The plan is for you to go and try and sell this thing on your own. I will support you. I will help you. You go do this thing for the next 2-3 weeks, okay? If, Rafael, you're unsuccessful and you decide you're going to interview agents, here are some things, Rafael, that people just like yourself absolutely appreciate about what we do. Can I share those things with you now? The prospect's going to say, yeah, what do you got? So then that's my first thing, is you should have done that on the spot. Okay, now my follow-up calls.
Brandon, the connection went bad. Could you repeat one more time what you just said? Because my connection went bad for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, I was just saying that you need to get to the value proposition, right? But the way that you get to say the value proposition, like most of you probably have a challenge getting to the point on a preview appointment when you can even talk about it. And the way you can bring that up is by pushing it away further. So did you hear that part?
Yes.
So you push him away. You say,
Yeah.
Bob, you know, we're not looking at this now. Like, let's agree right now that we're not going to do any business right this second, right? You push him away. Okay. So now what I want to walk you through is the details about a strategy that you can fall back on, that you could consider if that day ever comes. Is that fair? And Bob says, sure. Show me what you got. Boom. All right, cool. Now I'm at a point where I can present this value proposition and articulate it like crazy. You with me? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, I kind of hold him back a little bit because he was very interested in me doing an open house for him and bring a lot of traffic. And I told him totally for free. What I need, just traffic around here, maybe 20 customers, and you can have 5 that want to see your property again, and maybe you have 3 offers, and this is exactly what you need. He was very interesting, very, 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 very happy to hear about me doing an open house for him, because he told me that this weekend he's not going to have time to do an open house or anything.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, why did you hold back on doing the value proposition presentation? Because the open house is part of the value proposition presentation.
Because when I'm trying to make a comparison between doing a house for sale, which is you expose 10% of the buyers, versus doing listing a property. And also I told him this is the marketing plan that I have, which is 100 times better than you're doing right now. And then when I start talking the open house, he likes the idea. And then when I ask him if you can sell this house by your own in the next few weeks from now, or you consider,
yeah, and he said,
yes, I'm gonna go for realtors.
He said, yep, I sure am.
Yeah, I sure I am. Yep.
At that very moment, that's where my question is. At that very moment, you decided, okay, he said, yes, I'm going to interview agents, and you made a business decision to not talk anything more about the value proposition. My question is why? Because
I start talking about the marketing plan that I have first.
No.
That's what I was my.
No. I know what you did. I'm asking why you felt that you shouldn't talk about the value proposition.
Because I was trying to leave it for the last minute of the conversation.
Okay.
And I start talking about the marketing plan first, and then talking about the open house. And he likes the idea about the open house. So I give it the detail how the open house work and everything. And then he asked me a question, what do you think about my house? I tell them that you need to low down a little bit on.
So is it safe to say you don't know? Is it safe to say you don't know why you didn't talk about the value prop?
No, I hold them back because it was first. If it wasn't a follow-up, it was a first appointment. And I didn't want to go to the whole thing, to the whole punch. I don't know if it's maybe a mistake or maybe.
Well, I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious because if you started talking about the open house, he's like, wow, this is awesome. Tell me more. It would have been a great place to plant the seed around the other 3 or 4 things that we do, so that now you give this guy, which sounds like a great opportunity, Raphael, you give him even more things for him to like about you. Because the next part of your question is, what value do I bring to the follow-up call? Well, now you can talk about the other things. Hey, by the way, we offer this flexible commission plan. We offer this.
I'm pretty sure for the second appointment, I'm going to go through the whole punch value proposition.
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid not to bring it to this first time.
Well, you can't go backwards.
I just want to make sure if it's. I didn't want to bring that the first time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because the conversation were pretty good.
Yeah, got it. So we're not sure why that you don't want to do that, but now that we're moving forward, your phone calls, remember, everybody, the follow-up phone call has nothing to do around, okay, this call I'm going to talk about this pen, this call I'm going to talk about this piece of paper, this call I'm going to talk about this cup. Because, Raphael, you ask me that every week, and so let me tell you the answer again. The follow-up calls are meant to solidify you for a couple things. A, we want to find out. Number one, we want to find out what has happened over the last 7 days. Good, bad, or indifferent. What happened? Okay? Well, look, before I even give you the tactics, hold on. Don't even listen to that. What I want you to do, how conversion works, is by staying top of mind. So the person that's staying top of mind, staying in the relationship, is going to win the business. So it's more about that than it is about the call itself. So let's just preface with that. But now let me give you the tactics. All right? So number one is what happened over the last, did you sell the house? Right? My job, and I told you, is if you can't sell this thing, I want to help you sell it, right? So I'm very clear with that at the preview appointment. So naturally, I'm going to do what I say. I'm going to call him, and I'm going to say, Raphael, tell me about the last week. How did it go? Did any offers come in?
Mm-hmm.
Let's role play this.
Okay.
This is number one. Raphael, anything come in over the last week?
No, I just didn't have time to do open house. Only one person just knocked my door. That's it.
Okay, cool. So when we were together last time, we talked about how my open house program works. Do you want to try to get back together this week and try to schedule for something this weekend?
Yeah, maybe after Thanksgiving. Because Thanksgiving is coming up next week, and I might be doing after. Give me a call after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, so after Thanksgiving, I'll come back over. I'll walk you through in detail how the for sale by owner strategy works. We can plan the event. We can start taking action towards that event, and then we'll go from there. But certainly, you're not going to do anything before Thanksgiving. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that sounds great. And then lastly, before I let you go, did you have a chance to look at the email I sent you over the week to see the other properties that are for sale and what they're doing?
Oh, no, I didn't have time because, the job, it's terrible. It's just, I don't have time.
Do me a favor. I got to run to my next appointment. I need you to look at that email. I think what you're going to find, it's very interesting because your neighbor just accepted an offer, okay? And that's going to affect the sale of your home. Look at that email. I'll follow up with you at the end of the week. If you need anything in the meantime, you'd have my number. Fair enough?
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
Boom. Click. I'm off the phone. Okay? Now Wednesday comes. And I'm sending him another email. Right? And then Friday comes. And I'm texting, hey, Raphael, it's Brandon. It's Friday. I'm about to go home for the weekend. Do you need anything? Nope, I'm good, Brandon. I'm good. Okay, cool. You go to your mailbox and you open it up. And you're like, oh, wow, what's in the mail? Oh, and you saw this from me. And I go, wow, that's really cool, right? There's that Brandon guy again. And then Monday comes and boom, I'm on the phone with you again, right? This is how it happens. This is how conversion happens. You with me?
Yeah.
All right. So follow-up call is very simple. Check in. What happened over the last week? Any offers? What do you need help with? What questions do you have? Do you have a chance to look at the email that I sent you? You guys should have this in front of you so you can reference back to it. And then number 3, Bob, do you think we need to get back together to talk about that backup plan that we talked about when we got together? Yes, no, maybe so. Doesn't matter about the answer. That's the 3-step process.
Okay, I'll do that.
Brandon.
Yes, Tyne? Tyne? Worst name in the history of the world.
Man,
I'm just kidding.
right? My mom screwed me on that one.
I love you, man. It's all good.
Hey, question, man. You saying that there's I know you had mentioned once you set them up on a auto market report on the MLS, but I thought that was like after you get them listed. I didn't know it was like directly after the preview.
No.
I'm just following up without anything really.
Yeah, dude. That's the weekly email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You go see these FSBOs. They automatically go on FSBO sold search email. So every week they're seeing these things.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good to know.
In that weekly email, you can add content to those too. But every week they should be getting a link to what has happened in the last 7 days in their neighborhood, and that should be automatically getting sent out from your MLS.
Okay.
Go ahead, Oscar.
Oh, yeah, I had a quick question. Because I ran into it yesterday when I was calling. One of the individuals, when I asked to go ahead and preview the property, they hit me with, I'm having an open house in 2 weeks. So then, like I was going through the script and right to like about number, because I have the script here, to number 5 to see if they're, when they sell, where they're going. They told me they're going to stay local. But when I was trying to schedule it, I know I'm having an open house. So I kind of felt a little like I didn't want to be that salesy, pushy guy and be like, oh, but let me see your property. And then they maybe come back and say, hey, I said I'm having an open house. Yeah. So my question is, when they hit me up with that, I'm having an open house, do I wait and just show up, like be the first one at the open house and provide them with some value, or wait till they have the open house and then call, like you said, hey, how was the open house?
So I got proved wrong here, actually. This is pretty cool. So one of the agents at my company only goes to FSBO open houses. He's like, screw the whole calling thing. I'll just go to the open houses. They're all previews. And that's so his work schedule is a Saturday, Sunday full day. He's doing 10 previews a weekend, all FSBO open houses. So with that being said, a lot of people are still on script 1.0, Oscar, which is you are too. So you could go to the preview appointment, go shake their hand, build a relationship, start a relationship at all of those open houses. So yeah, I mean, if you got time for it, go to the open house, because a lot of agents like me, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to the open house. But if you have time and it fits the schedule, go to as many of those as possible. Because what's kind of be cool too is they're planning now. They're in a good state of mind. And if you go there and there ain't nothing happening there and there's nobody there but you can get into some nice dialogue, really nice dialogue.
Okay.
So
and
go to as many FSBO open houses as you guys can.
And your suggestion, also, anyone else, be like the first one there or be the last one there? We'll kind of, or just, I guess, just go and see how it plays out.
Brandon, can I answer that?
Please.
Because you're probably referring to Nick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the one that gave Nick the idea. So, yeah, I try to get to between 6 and 10 open houses a weekend. This time of year, obviously, there's not as many.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't worry about the time because I worry more about the quantity. My goal is between noon and 4 to get to between 3 and 4 of them.
I love it.
The only thing that I've learned to do about these open houses is I do the quick CMA just for my knowledge to see if the person is being realistic at all with their price. Because if I find a place that's 25% overpriced, I'm not going to worry about that open house. They're not there yet. They haven't suffered enough pain yet, because they're overpriced. So don't worry about the time. But it's like Brandon just said, it's great conversations. And in the past, since I've been doing this and I got Nick doing it, I've closed about 1.75 million from people from doing open houses. Nobody's there. The only people that are there are the nosy neighbors.
Nick and my team gets most of his listings that way as well, just like Steve does.
Yep. So it's just worked out great because what I found in my area outside of Washington, D.C., nobody's picking up the phones. Nobody's returning phone calls, leaving messages. So now I just bank on open houses, try to get to at least 5 a weekend. That's 20 a month. Do the math, a couple hundred a year.
That's so good. And you just go there and you can drop off your packet with a CMA, your value proposition, your resume, shake their hands, get to know them. It's a really nice thing to do.
And what I've learned also too, give them some tips.
Yeah.
Like one of the best tips I give these people, I say, hey, you got an open house. I just want you to know the number one thing people steal during open houses is your prescription drugs. Before I go through the house, have you taken out your prescription drugs? Oh, my God, no, I haven't. The other thing I want you to know, I see you got a combo lock on there. You're doing the game. Change the combination every week. Too many people got that, you're going to get ripped off. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you, Steve. That's a great suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Nick on my team is just smashing that too.
Yeah.
So his weeks are more opened up because he just does so much on Saturday and Sunday that during the week it's all spent on follow-up and conversion.
And Nick's what, 23?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Cool. All right. So let's we got a couple more minutes here. I know the first half was taken up by the role play, but hopefully you found some value in that. But what other questions do you guys have? And let me just add this. We're soon going to be changing some formats to this where we're going to add in, most likely, I'm going to watch what I say here, but most likely we're going to add in another call during the week that will be based on skill set. So we'll have one call probably dedicated for Q&A, and then a whole nother call based on kind of what we did with Graham, so that you can have an opportunity to work on your skill set too. Because there's knowledge, and then there's the how-to. And so look out for that to come soon. But anyway, last questions, comments, success stories, failure stories.
Yeah, I got a question. Like, because I'm trying to log in during the night. So sometimes at night I'm in my work, but I got my Bluetooth so I can walk in and I'm talking at the same time. And I don't wonder if anything is available so I can check skills and I'll do training, because I listen your videos a lot and everything, so I kind of doing okay, but I would like to do training also, cross training and role play. You do anything at night?
Oh, you're saying, do I do anything at night? Is that what you said?
Can't hear you.
Are you asking, are you asking if we do any night sessions? Is that what you said?
I don't know, because sometimes I see you guys doing role play at night.
Yeah, so we're going to have 2 sessions. I don't know what time of day they're going to be yet, but it probably will make sense to do like an afternoon and then a night session. So I would imagine that when we do go back to a 2 call a week session, that we'll have one during the day and one in an evening session.
Yeah, I want to do more training, because I got everything here. I just need to
practice.
Train, so it came out great. It came out good.
Skill set stuff, right? Does everyone agree with Rafael, what he just said? Because that's where, when I'm working with my team, okay, good. Give me thumbs up if you guys need more skills practice. All right, every single thumb just went up. So my partner's sitting right next to me. Colton's sitting right next to me. We're working on stuff right now. All right, so that's all skill set. All right, good. Because that's what I felt too. Like, we're redoing the entire training course. So all the new information, you guys will have that. So that'll be the what to do. And then we'll have another one where it's based on skill set, so you can practice on on how to do it.
Okay.
Good. No problem. Lizette, what's up, girl? Oh, turn your music up. Turn your volume up. We can't hear you. Oh, can't hear her. Yeah, Lizette, we can't hear you, buddy. Sorry.
I got a success story, I guess.
Tiny on the mic.
Tiny. What do you call it? I got a listing presentation tomorrow, only 1 week in FSBO, and she was a FSBO that wasn't even willing to pay buyer's commission. And so I just went to the house, we just clicked, and there you go. Friday, I'm going to pretty much go tomorrow, listing presentation, her and her husband. So let's see.
That had to be your name, dude.
What happened? Tiny?
No, it had to be your name. No, I'm just kidding. So you had a great preview face-to-face appointment.
Yeah, I sometimes, like, I don't push as much when they tell me no on the buyer's commission.
Right.
But I think that day I was just like, I want an appointment, and I just got to the appointment, just showed, and we just clicked, and she wants now just a matter of convincing her husband. I already got her to say yes.
Yeah. So watch this really quick. Half the people dropped off the call, but that's sad, because what I'm about to we didn't role play this, but watch a couple of principles just happen in real life for you. One is, this is that thing that you guys always say, like, hey, how do I know if I should go to the appointment or not? And then I always turn around and say, nothing is as it seems. People will tell you all the time one thing and then do another. This is a great example of that, right? And so I've experienced that so much. And that's you too, right?
Yeah, I mean, this lady wasn't nice on the phone, really. And we just happened to meet in person. Things changed.
That's what happens, you guys. And then a face-to-face appointment changed everything for you. And so that's where this strategy is so good, because here's what's happening. They're getting all this stimulus at them at one time. Like, people are calling, realtors are calling, they're getting mail, they're getting knocked on, like all this stuff. So they're just like, no, they're just no to everything. And so you just got to get past that. And does it happen every time? No, but that's what you will find is the humans are just like, I told you guys all the story about this mall here in Michigan with those kiosks in the middle, and they're all like trying to sell you hand soap and try to touch your head and touch your hands. Like, get off me, dude. Leave me alone. So then when you go to this mall, everyone's like this. They try not to make contact, you know? So anyway, it's that same thing. And that's why it's so important to stay consistent with the activity and just keep running the play. Run the play. Run the play. Don't judge it. Don't think about it. Just keep running the play. And you're going to do really well. And thank you so much, dude, for sharing your results boards.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I'm telling you how much that helps everybody because they see it and it helps them to believe more. So I would love to see more people start sharing what's happening in their businesses. James, great job. Keep calling on camera. Nice work. All of you guys out there that are putting in the work, keep at it. Just keep running the play.
So, Brandon, last thing. So when you go to the first appointment, so you see the house, you go into a qualifying question, why you selling this house? You tell them, I know you're selling on yourself, I want to help you. And then you asking how long you're going to sell your house before you get help or explore the auction. And then if they say realtors jump into the value proposition, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I just learned today. Jump into the value proposition.
100%.
And if he doesn't say anything about realtors, he say, I'm not in a hurry to sell this place. I don't have to sell it. I don't have to move. I'm taking my time, because some of them say that.
Yep.
Not everybody tells you like this guy. I got two appointments already. He told me, and maybe in a couple of weeks, couple of months, I go for realtors. But not everybody say that.
Right.
So if you say, I don't have to sell the place, I'm gonna be here like a couple of months. Let's see what happens. What is your end of the appointment?
I always try to follow that up with, if I have someone that, you know, I'm not in a hurry, just like you just said, I'm just like, well, just so I heard you right. I mean, if a couple months goes by, and for whatever reason, this is the part I'm trying to teach you today. For whatever reason, Raphael, like you just can't find the buyer, right? God knows what happens. Does this happen? Probably not. You probably end up selling it. But if you do get to that point, are you saying that you just stop selling and just stay here forever?
Oh, maybe not.
That's what I'm looking for right there. And so that's how I play it. And that's what happens almost every time. So I ask the same question in a different way. So Raphael, what you're trying to get them to do, maybe remember in the training, I talk about the traffic light. Okay.
I got the idea. I just need to know how articulated. I got the message. I know what you're trying to say, but I need to know how articulated. And another thing, the first appointment, you don't sell the CMA the night before, right?
What's that?
The first appointment. No, this is another question. The first appointment, you don't send the CMA. You don't email the CMA the night before.
Not on a preview appointment.
Not on the preview appointment. That's what I want to know. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Good.
All right. If you guys have questions, comments, anything, we now have Colton, who's on the team. He's going to be manning the Facebook group every single day. So you will see the engagement pick way back up. So if you guys have questions, make comments, ask questions. We'll try to answer them more in real time. But certainly if you guys need anything, let us know. But you guys have an awesome, awesome week. And we'll see you guys next week.
Question, Brandon, before you go.
Yeah.
You said you emailed the CMA before the listing presentation?
Every time.
Okay. All right.
On the follow-up, right?
Yep.
On the follow-up. Okay.
All right. Cool. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Bye-bye.